We're going to start talking about Ivan Toney. He's dropped more hints that he wants away. There's a lot of conjecture about what he's done. Now, Brentford strikers have said he wants to get away. He's made the headlines. Reports Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs are all expected to put in huge bids for him in the January transfer window when his ban ends. Brentford are said to value him around about £18 million. The Bees boss, Thomas Frank, said today that...
No, I think it's natural. I also like the way Barcelona play, so I think it's natural that you have other teams that you either, since you were a boy, you admired a lot. I think that's natural. Silverware, I think it'll be great. I would love to win some silverware with Ivan here at Brentford. It'll be a great opportunity, and I really do hope that he will get more England caps for in the future.
That was Thomas Frank, Brentford's manager there. Listen, there's going to be a lot of speculation about Ivan Toney. We all know what's happened. He clearly was a very silly boy, and he got a lengthy ban, and it's affected not just him as a professional footballer, as a club-wise, but also international as well. There's a chance that he would have been involved, very much involved. He wants away, Gab. What would you be doing and saying if you're his agent right now?
If I'm his agent now, just keep fit. You know, you're out. You can't train with a club. He would have kept himself ticking over.
He's got just under 2 years left in his contract.
Yeah, he's obviously going, and he would have wanted to go last year, I'm sure, because he's an outstanding player, Jace, and he would suit. I think it'd suit every team in the Premier League. And when we talk about the teams that are going to put bids in for him, you know what team's going to go to then. If Chelsea want him, they're getting him. Let's just say that now. So there's no point in us putting another bid in.
He's perfect for Chelsea.
He's perfect for Spurs.
Is he?
Mate, Spurs have got Richarlison. Yeah. How many goals do you think he scored in 29 games?
I know, because
how many?
I know.
Guess. Pretend you don't know, guess. What would you say if you hadn't watched any games and you said Richarlison, 29 games, what would you say?
4?
No, mate. Divide that by 4.
What?
Divide that, no, take away 3.
What do you mean divide by 4? So this not...
He scored 1 goal. One goal.
No, I mean all comps.
No, I don't care about all comps. I'm going about Premier League.
From Brazil as well?
No.
How many goals he got?
No. He's got 1 goal in the Premier League. You've lost Harry Kane, 30 Premier League goals last season. Richarlison, 29 games, 1 goal. On the bench against Manchester United, 0 strikers. So if I'm Spurs, I'm like, we need a top striker. Go out and use the Harry Kane money. Get Ivan Toney. I know you said earlier off air that you don't think it would suit the way they play.
I don't know whether he does, actually. I'm not convinced that...
You don't think Maddison getting into little spaces and finding him with his movement?
Well, yes. I mean, you can see that. I mean, Mbeumo has been link-up play with him. I've seen that before. But looking at the way that Postecoglou wants to play, I'm not convinced that is... I see him at Chelsea. I see him at Manchester United.
But Manchester United signed Højlund.
I know.
But they do need 2. They do need 2 top strikers. But... I just think if Chelsea are after him, Cundy, they're gonna get him. You look what they've done with Lavia and Caicedo. If they want Toney, it's gonna be done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal go for
an 8-year contract. It's not uncommon now because of the transfer window for players to be signed injured because you can't wait until the January. Obviously, if he's out with a broken leg or he's out for the ACL, that's not going to happen. But Ivan Toney's fit. He's going to be starting training on the 1st of September. Is it a big gamble?
Not at all.
Buying him now?
No.
And do you think you can get a better deal now?
100%. If we don't know the actual layout of it, are they allowed to buy him now? If they are, I'm buying him now. In 4 months' time, he can play.
What are you paying for him?
I'm paying him now. I'd pay 60, but it might cost you 80, 90. Maybe in January.
Because there's more clubs interested.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I look at it as that's in 4 months' time he can play, Cundy. He's a goal scorer. Put him in the right side. You seen what he's done at Brentford. Yep. Put him in a Spurs. Put him in a Chelsea, Man United. He will score. For me, he will score 20 Premier League goals.
There aren't many strikers like him. No. That style of look. He's a proper number 9.
Yes.
That
can do everything. Running behind, hold the ball up. Headers is unbelievable. Penalties, finish both feet. Works hard, can press. He can do everything. And as well, the problem with some clubs, especially maybe Spurs, they might look at it and think, Daniel Levy, why am I paying him for 4 months when you can't play?
Well, that's the thing, you see.
You'll save that on a transfer fee.
Well, there's the debate. That's what you do. How do you? You've got to work out between now and then. You're going to be paying him wages that he's not. I mean, you could do a deal with him, I'm sure. Here's another thing as well. How do Brentford fans feel right now? Because they've stuck by him. I mean, there is also that chance that they say, do you know what? we could stop. I don't know how this works legally, but I'm pretty sure they can't just stop his wages.
No, they can't. No.
But also, how do Brentford fans feel? Is it one of those that's saying, do you know what? There is no loyalty in football.
No, not at all.
Any.
But I think that the way Brentford's run, don't forget they've got some good players there, and Mbeumo, Wissa, top players. So I'm sure Brentford will be all right. And they know they're going to get between 60 and 80 million for Ivan Toney. But I would just go and get him now. I'm sure he's allowed to start training in a month's time.
1st September, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure he's allowed to train. You can get loads of practice games on Cundy at the training ground to get him ready. January, he's going to be flying.
Gab, honestly, if I had anything to do, I had any control at Chelsea, that's exactly what I would do. So, as we were speaking, Brentford striker Ivan Toney spoke on the Diary of a CEO podcast earlier this week about his future.
Everybody wants to play at the top of the tree, and not that Brentford aren't there, but I feel like playing for a big club, fighting for trophies and these kind of things, everybody wants to do. And if the chance was to come along, I think I'd be silly not to look more into it. But I feel like, and the manager knows I want to be playing at the highest level possible. And whenever that time comes, then so be it.
Well, you often hear from players saying that, get the quote, "come and get me." Well, if that's not "come and get me," I don't know what is. If you're in his shoes right now, is there any loyalty at Brentford? Is there any part of you that feels they've stuck by me? Thomas Franklin's been good to me. I've been with the club. They brought me in. They've helped turn me into the player that I am. Or is it literally no?
You know what? I don't believe in loyalty as much now, Cundy. From my experience of playing and seeing how certain players were treated by clubs and managers, when a club doesn't want you. I've seen it happen to so many players. Happened to me as well.
Right.
They will throw you in the under 23s.
100%
They will throw you into under 18s and say, stay there until you leave. They'll try and force you out. You won't be settled with your family. You enjoy playing at a club. Don't want you. Put you in a bomb squad, we call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's no loyalty both sides.
I am 100% with you. And this is the thing that football fans don't get and don't see. And they love their club. And I look, you're a massive Villa fan, I'm a massive Chelsea fan. And at times I get a little bit annoyed with the way that Lukaku, for example, perfect example, right, what we're going through. But I know that if it was the other way round, the club would actually throw the player under the bus to get rid of him. And
it happened to me at Villa. We got relegated, and I felt I was part of the problem. We got relegated, part of the relegation team. Season starts, Roberto Di Matteo comes in, and he waited till the last day before the first game of the season, called me in. I'm thinking like, he's going to tell me I'm playing.
What are you thinking?
Well, he's going to tell me where I'm playing because I had a good pre-season, got fit, was that it? Thinking I want to help the club come back.
How many pre-season?
1.5. No, but
I'm thinking you're doing okay. You felt
I felt fit. Okay, got fit in the summer. Felt fit. Flying right.
So he gives you Can I have a word?
Yes, come into the office. Guess what he says? Oh, we want you to leave. Well, you what? I said, leave where? So I've been here since I'm 12. What are you talking about? Leave. He's gone, Rangers or QPR. No, Rangers or Reading, he said.
Sorry, you sort of Rangers up in
Glasgow
Scotland.
Rangers, or Reading.
Or Reading.
I was like, nah, not for me. I'm thinking like, you waited till the day before the season starts to tell me that I should go.
Who's told him to say this?
Exactly, I don't know.
This has not come just from him.
I don't know, mate. I don't
be
actually
a collective decision.
Yeah, I don't know at that time.
What do you know now? Do you know anything more now?
No, none at all. Anyway, I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I said, like, not a chance. I'm not leaving my boyhood club. Like, I'm staying, not a chance. Next day, I'm in the bomb squad. Had to train with the
lepers, that's what
had to train with the under 18s, under 23s.
Yeah.
Mate, they were trying to meg me. They do little boxes.
Yeah.
So, mate, you had to walk, right, from the first team dressing room all the way to the bottom pitches, mate, in the rain. So you got like a 15-minute walk to the under 23s pitches. And these little 18-year-olds, they tried to pop it through.
Yeah, of course they are.
I'm losing my mind, mate. I was like, this is what it's come to. So that happened to me after being there for that many years. I've seen it happen to so many players. Remember Paul Lambert getting the job, and I think he got told to trim the wage bill. There was like Alan Hutton, there was Barry Banner, mate. There was like Stephen Knight. There was like 7 or 8 of them got sent to go and sit in their own changing room on their own.
No, it's true. No.
So clubs will treat players like absolute garbage if they don't want them, but then they want players to be loyal if, like, oh no,
there is
I
no
should
loyalty
stay.
in football.
Not
Gav.
at all, mate.
If you want
Both
loyalty,
ways.
you pay for it, and
Exactly.
that's how it works. And sometimes the clubs will do this, and the way it works, the rhetoric is that the players are always the disloyal ones. That is not always the case. Manchester United is one of the clubs that have been linked with him. You've signed Højlund, yet to feature yet, but would you like Tony in your ranks?
I would have before we signed Højlund, just simply on the fact that, if you go out and spend 60, 70 million on a striker, your aim is to have him as your number one. I don't see Ten Hag playing two strikers.
No.
So, who's he then going to drop? Is he going to drop Tony and be a number two striker, or is he going to drop Højlund? So I just don't see that. And I love Ivan Toney. I think he's a quality all-round striker. But I also, for his sake, I don't think he would necessarily get in at United. And when I say that, I don't mean based on his ability, but like I said, because they spent so much on Højlund, are they then going to go out and pay the price that Brentford would want for him? Admittedly, now would be the time to get him because he'll probably be at a lower rate than what he would be when he's back. But for his sake, I think his career would actually go on a downward hill spiral coming to United because we're such a toxic club at the moment, and I don't think we play in a way that would get him many goals. I think if he went to somewhere like City, Arsenal, or anywhere else, he would score a lot of goals.
But don't you think, Luke, that a club like Manchester United in the Champions League, in so many competitions, you need two top strikers? Look at Newcastle, Isaac, Wilson. Man City, Haaland, Alvarez. I don't think it's a bad signing. I think it's a great signing for Manchester United.
But do you think that Ivan Toney's going to want to be a number two when he's a number one, or could be a number one at another top club?
But
And the other point I was going to make was that I've been to United this season, and I'm going tomorrow, and with our wingers, especially Anthony and Garnacho and Sancho, they're so negative.
I know. He needs balls in the box. He does.
And, we were sat there watching it a couple of weeks ago, first game of the season, and we don't get the ball in the box. You've got Anthony playing on the left, on the right, that just wants to cut in on his left. You've got Garnacho or Sancho that want to cut in on their right.
The problem you've got, though, is you've got Rashford up top who doesn't really want those balls. That's the type of ball that Ivan Toney would demand is that type of ball. And Højlund, I'm guessing, is going to be some that player. But Rashford's game is different, and that's part of the problem. That's why Rashford really...
You know what as well, Kunde? We don't know how Højlund's going to do. He might take a year.
No, we don't know.
He's a younger lad, improving.
We don't know.
What if he doesn't perform straight away? Then you left with Martial, Rashford.
That's been a bit of a gamble, to be honest with you, as well.
TalkSport Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.